when I came here in 75, I was training with these guys. Nobody told me you had to use steroids. I was using the same way they were using. People have to understand that. Nobody say, hey, Robby, take some down. Right. Nobody told me this. I trained with those guys and used nothing.
And you talked about your glutamine intake and what you do relative to what others do. And I know what these guys are going to say. This is happening. This is happening. This is a sit down with the legend, Robby Robinson, the Black Prince, AKA the man that's been doing this longer than anybody at the level he's been doing it. And I'm not just saying still present, still incredible is what I say. Don't do this for a day. Don't do this for a moment. Do this for a lifetime. And this is the pinnacle of that, doing it for a lifetime. Robby, good morning. We didn't get you up too early, did we?
Awesome.
We already worked out.
You already worked out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
These guys get to talk to you today, ask some questions. I'm looking forward to some of these guys' questions. I have people all night long sending me messages saying, hey, please ask them this, please ask them that. And so we have so much to get to.
Wow.
Which I'm excited about because you have so much knowledge. And it's not just, I mean, you can tell me this. Is the knowledge just from what you have discovered, or have you picked up knowledge from others on this journey?
You know, I read a lot. I love to read. You know, I buy a lot of books and just read them cover to cover, go back, take notes, write things down, compare to the notes that I've been keeping for almost 50 years. Wow. And from that, you know, I just keep learning. I think people say when you get old, you stop learning. When you get old, because you stop trying to learn. So I just keep learning. I try to pick up pieces here and there. You know, I check you out, what you're doing. And because they're pretty much on the same kind of level. You know, you dogma, you go in there and you kill it. And then you leave. You go back, you feed your body, you come back and you do that 365 days a year almost.
I was hearing something. You were talking to Jeff before we started filming today, and you were talking about something that you do. And it's, again, you and I, we lift for muscle. Yes. We lift heavy. Yes. Okay. But there's so much more to it than that. It's just being healthy, just being able to keep doing it. And you talked about your glutamine intake and what you do relative to what others do. And I know what these guys are going to say. Oh, don't do it that way. And it's unarguable to even say that to you, because you are the creation of what your habits are and what you're doing. And
exactly. You know, I've always, you know, started. I grew up in the swamps, and I didn't have the food like normal people had, like steaks and chicken. We had the chickens and the cubs and stuff like that, the eggs and stuff like that. But we lived off of rabbits and alligator tail.
This sounds like Mona growing up.
That's what we did.
You want some meat, go kill something.
We lived off of.
Right.
You know, frog legs. Nobody really had no porterhouse. Were you serious?
I have frog legs in the morning.
It was on that, man. And I think eating, my mom she grew a garden. And in that garden, she had everything a person would normally spot. You had broccoli, carrots, asparagus, tomatoes, collard green, mustard green, turnip green. And so we ate from all of that. I did that for years. And me being always sickly as a kid with the sickle cell, I thought, I just got tired of being sick. I mean, I was, you know, the cookies and the cakes and the candies. And I was wondering, why am I always sick, man? So I stopped eating all of that stuff like at 11, 12 years old. So I don't eat sugar. Everything I eat is basically from an entree of just naturalness. And I've been doing that my whole life. So I really think that played a role in my longevity. You know, people might look at me and they say 75, I'm like, you're so young.
Yeah, I was just saying this the other day.
I'm sorry. When I do see people, older people, I hurt for them.
Yeah.
Because I know it's all come from taking care of yourself. Not that you have to be perfect with it, but taking care of yourself, eating right. I mean, it makes a huge difference in your body and how it replicates itself. That's what I noticed. I kept saying to myself, you know, I love bodybuilding, but I wanted to come out of bodybuilding healthy. I didn't want to come out of there with no liver problems, kidney problems, heart attacks. I didn't want to do this, Mike. I thought bodybuilding was like what you eat. That's what I thought. When I came here at 75, I was training with these guys. Nobody told me you had to use steroids. I was using the same way they were using. People have to understand that. Nobody say, hey, Robby, take some down.
Right.
Nobody told me this. I trained with those guys and used nothing. 2 weeks before the Mr. World, I remember the guy called me and said, Robby, listen, what you on? And I said, nothing. He go, what? I said, nothing. Because I looked so incredibly thin without it. And he said, well, come back this afternoon. I went back. And I was thinking, like, what is this guy? What is he talking about? And he said, you know, you see this? And I said, yeah. He says, I said, what is it? He says, Primabol and Depot. I said, serious? Is that what everybody's using? He said, no, this is just Primabol. Yep, some of the bodybuilders use it. But I had been training with these guys for 90 days.
And this is when you first got here, and everybody would assume, because I remember you told me about the phone call and stuff. And Robby, the phone's for you up at the head office. There it goes, and you get on the phone. But it was like you looked so good, but you come from that. Again, you started before puberty. You were already eating right. You're already training. You're already an athlete, and you're already doing those things. And then you show up here, and you're already moving the weights that they're moving. You already look just like them, and you're like, oh, by the way, you can't do it the way you're doing it. I'm sorry, I am.
That's exactly how I feel about it. Like we were training, and at the end of it, as I said, you know, going back to the subject, they gave me the shot. And I remember walking home, and I could start to feel my
already just kicking in.
Holy shit! What is that? By the time I got home, knocked on the door, Elaine, my girlfriend at this point, opened the door. I collapsed right there. Shaking, as black as my skin as it turned gray. And she's trying to figure out what's going on. I'm just like freaking out. My body is freaking out. And I'm thinking, what the heck is this? What is happening to me? Am I going to die? What is happening? She grabbed me from the front door to the bathtub and drank cold water on me. That saved my life. Because when I took the shot, because I had never used anything like that, what the doctor said to me, the blood corpuscles increased in size. And so with the sickle cell, they half moved, so they start hooking on to each other, right? Yeah. And the blood is going through through my veins, but they couldn't because of the fact that they're being blocked. I came out of it, went to New York, won the Mr. World, 7 poses, and I went to Dr. What's his name? I don't want to call his name, but Dr. Walzak. And Dr. Walzak said, Robby, you have sickle cell. I said, what is that? Dum. Had no clue what it was. And then I started doing all my own research. And from that point on, throughout my bodybuilding career, I used it only 8 weeks before competition. And I think that could preserve.
Let's go into this. Let's go further into this and the discussion with Robby. I want you guys to actually invest a little time into learning about how this man has done something that honestly, I can't think of a person that has done this and I don't mean just working out. I mean having the physique for that long.
Yeah.
And why? How? How are your hips working? How do your elbows function? How do you still do this? How do you move the weights? I see him squat with me. It's ridiculous what he's doing. So let's go find all this information out right now. Get signed up, and we'll see you over there in the webinar starting in 3 minutes.